Shabbat Shalom Mishpachah, and welcome to Hebrew Bible Secrets with your host, Rabbi Jeremy Beaton. And I hope you all are enjoying the Feast of Tabernacles. So we are reading today from the book of Acts, starting at chapter 24. Acts, chapter 24, verse 1. 1. And after 5 days, Ananias, the Kohen Hagadol, high priest, came down with some of the elders and with a certain speaker named Tertullus, who informed the governor against Paulus. 2. And when he had called forth, Tertullus began to accuse him, saying, seeing that by you we enjoy a lengthy time of peace through your rule and your reforms, being made to this nation by your providence. 3. We accept it always, and in all places, most noble Felix, with all thankfulness. 4. But so that I may not delay you any further, I petition that you would hear us of your graciousness a few words. 5. For we have found this man a troublemaker, and a stirrer of trouble among all Yahudim throughout the Roman provinces, and a ringleader of the sect of the Netzarim. 6. Who also have gone about to profane the Abrahamic-Faith temple, whom we took and would have judged according to our Torah. 7. But the chief captain, Lysias, came upon us, and with great violence took him away out of our hands. 8. Commanding his accusers to come to you, by examining of whom yourself may take knowledge of all these things, whereof we accused him. 9. And the Yahudim also joined in the attack, saying that these things were true. 10. Then Paulus, after that the governor had gestured him to speak, answered, for as much as I know that you have been of many years a judge to this nation, I do the more cheerfully answer for myself. 11. But that you may understand that there are yet but 12 days since I went up to Jerusalem to pay homage. 12. And they neither found me in the Abrahamic-Faith temple, disputing with any man, neither raising up the people, neither in the Kohalim, nor in the city. 13. Can they prove the things of which now they accuse me? 14. But this I confess to you, that after the way which they call a cult, so I pay homage to the Elohim of my Avot fathers, believing all things which are written in the Torah and in the prophets. 15. And having expectation towards Elohim, which they themselves also allow, that there shall be a resurrection, both of the righteous and wicked. 16. And herein do I exercise myself, to have always a conscience void of offence towards Elohim and towards men. 17. Now after many years I came to bring to my nation, and to Rumah love offerings. 18. Whereupon certain Yahudim from Asia Minor, Turkey, found me ritually purified in the Abrahamic-Faith temple, without a crowd or disturbance. 19. Who ought to have been here before you and object, if they had anything against me. 20. Or else let these same here say, if they have found any evil works in me while I stood before the Sanhedrin. 21. Except it be for this one voice, that I cried standing among them, touching the resurrection of the dead, I am called in question by you this day. 22. And when Felix, having heard these things, having more accurate knowledge of the way, he adjourned the hearing and said, When Lycia the chief captain shall come down, I will decide your case. 23. And he commanded a centurion to guard Paulus, and to let him have some freedom, and that he should stop none of his friends to assist or to come and meet him. 24. And after certain days, when Felix came with his wife Drusilla, she was a Yehudit, he sent for Paulus and heard him concerning the faith in Messiah. 25. And as he reasoned of righteousness, self-control and judgment to come, Felix became frightened and answered, Go your way at this time. When I have a convenient time, I will call for you. 26. He also hoped that Paulus would give him silver, that he may let him go. Therefore he sent for him quite often, and conversed with him. 27. But after 2 years had passed, Porcius Festus succeeded Felix, and Felix, wanting to appease the Yahudim, let Paulus remain in prison. Okay, so that now brings us to the end of Acts chapter 24. So let's go back and have a look at some of the footnotes in Acts chapter 24. So the first footnote we have is in verse 5. For we have found this man a troublemaker, and a stirrer of trouble among all the Yahudim throughout the Roman provinces, and a ringleader of the sect of the Notzarim. So let's have a look at this, Notzarim. So we have here, first century followers of Yahushua were called Notzarim, branches or watchmen, such as John 15:1 and 2. The term Nazarenes of late to some way have come to mean Christians. But since many in the church system do not obey the Torah, the rule of law of Yahweh's people, most of the Nazarenes, brothers and sisters today, are thought to be a cult by many in churches. So what has changed? Nothing, as even today most churches in the world still mix paganism into their religious practices, adopted from the Roman Catholic Church. Yahushua admonished the 7 congregations and congratulating the Ephesians to reject the false teachings that are anti-Torah. Okay, so let's have a look at John 15:1 and 2. So John 15:1 and 2, and it reads, I am the true vine, and my Av is the farmer. 2. Every branch in me that bears not fruit, he took away, and every branch that bears fruit, he prunes it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Okay, so we have a footnote here for I am the true vine. So this is the same picture as presented by Isaiah 5 of Israel and the Father and the Son. So the Israel father and son relationship. Okay, so this is the same picture as presented by Isaiah 5 of Israel and the Father and the Son, Israel relationship. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote. Which is in verse 7. But the chief captain, Lysias, came upon us, and with great violence took him away out of our hands. So let's have a look at this, took him away out of our hands. So we have here, this whole verse is missing in many manuscript copies. Okay, this whole verse is missing in many manuscripts copies. Okay, let's go to the next footnote. in verse 8, commanding his accusers to come to you, by examining of whom yourself may take knowledge of all these things whereof we accuse him. So let's have a look at this. So we have here Acts 24, 6b, 7 and 8a are missing in many manuscripts. So we have here Acts 24, 6b, 7 and 8a are missing in many manuscripts. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 14. But this I confess to you, that after the way, okay, so we have a footnote here for after the way. So let's have a look at this. They will acknowledge this one day as prophesied by Jeremiah 16:19. This will occur during the tribulation, when many of these people wake up knowing there is no pre-tribulation rapture, the biggest error in churches. Then they will all head towards Israel, as prophesied by Jeremiah in Jeremiah 15:4. For we are instructed to compassionately teach them, that they may learn the truth and continue to serve our King and obey the Torah of Moses, upholding all things given by Yahweh. Okay, so let's have a look at Jeremiah 16:19. So Jeremiah 16:19, and it reads, O Yahweh, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction, the nations shall come to you from the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our Avot, fathers, have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no value. Okay, so we have a couple of footnotes here. So let's have a look at the first footnote. O Yahweh, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction, the nations shall come. So let's have a look at this. The nations shall come. So these will have to walk back, as there will be no rapture for these Christians, because they believed in lies all along and refused to believe in Torah, as their church leaders taught them falsehoods and did not teach truth. Okay, so let's read that again. These will have to walk back, as there will be no rapture for these Christians, because they believed in lies all along and refused to believe in Torah, as their church leaders taught them falsehoods and did not teach truth. Okay, so we have another footnote here. So surely our Avot, fathers, have inherited lies. Okay, so let's have a look at this. It is not one man's job to change the behavior and the lies that Christendom has adopted, and they will, in majority, continue in them until right at the end, while some will find complete truth and leave the lies and come into the full light. Okay, let's read that again. It is not one man's job to change the behavior and the lies that Christendom has adopted, and they will in majority continue in them until right at the end, while some will find complete truth and leave the lies and come into the full light. Okay, so let's also have a look at Jeremiah 15:4. Jeremiah 15:4, and it reads, In those days and in that time, says Yahweh, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Yehudah, together, going and weeping, they shall go and seek their Elohim. or they shall go and seek Yahweh their Elohim. Okay, so let's have a look. We've got some footnotes here. So the first footnote we have, in those days and in that time, says Yahweh, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Yehudah together. Okay, so let's have a look at this together. So we have here, so where are they coming from? And why have they not been raptured? Many alleged scholars of Christianity and prophecy teachers, with their millions of books, will simply have to acknowledge they were wrong all along, with the others deceived in Christianity, and that Jeremiah puts them straight in one, if anyone cares to read it. Thank you, Jeremiah. They are coming from the east, just as Hosea said they would, and there is no such thing as a rapture, but there is such as travel on foot back to Israel, and a return to the land in great numbers, just as it was in the time of Pharaoh of Egypt. So what is it going to take to bring them back, the sons of the Lion of Judah? It is going to take lions, not mice. This is what it will take. Brave leaders to stand up and go and set up bases in the east, and to raise the flocks there, and to bring the children back when it is Yahweh's set time. Okay, so I believe we have another footnote. Going and weeping, they shall go and seek Yahweh their Elohim. So let's have a look at this. So no rapture, but the end of the captivity of Judah in the dispersion, and Ephraim, Yehudim, will return seeking forgiveness from Yahweh for their errors. Okay, let's read that again. So no rapture, but the end of the captivity of Judah in the dispersion, and Ephraim, Yehudim, will return seeking forgiveness from Yahweh for their errors. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 15. And having expectation towards Elohim, which they themselves also allow, that there shall be a resurrection, both of the righteous and wicked. So let's have a look at this. So Paul is using a prophetic term from Daniel, the prophet, in Daniel 12 and 2. So let's have a look at Daniel 12 and 2. Okay, and it reads, And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. Okay, so we have a couple of footnotes here. So awake to everlasting life, and some to shame. So let's have a look at this, some to shame. Okay, and it reads, a one-time judgment to take the wicked out of Sheol, and then to burn them to cinders, so they cease to exist. All who look upon these will look with contempt or disgust. The Hebrew word, diron, means to be disgusted at or to look at these wicked individuals. The righteous will always be disgusted at the actions of the wicked. This is not talking about everlasting conscious torture. Okay, please see footnote in Isaiah 66:24. So let's have a look at Isaiah quickly, 66:24. Okay, and it reads, And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me. For their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring to all flesh. So let's have a look at this. We've got a footnote for all flesh. All rebels will be removed. Okay? All rebels will be removed. Okay, so we have a few more footnotes. So we also got a footnote and everlasting. So let's have a look at this. Everlasting. So a clear reference to the resurrection of the righteous, Torah-keeping saints, and judgment on those who are Torahless and wicked. Okay, let's read that again. A clear reference to the resurrection of the righteous, Torah-keeping saints, and judgment on those who are Torahless and wicked. Okay, we've got one more footnote. Everlasting contempt. So let's have a look at this. So all the people of Israel, including those that grafted themselves in, like the Christians, because there is no gate or will be no gate in Jerusalem called Christianity. Okay, let's read that again. All the people of Israel, including those that grafted themselves in, like the Christians, because there is no gate or will be no gate in Jerusalem called Christianity. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 22. And when Felix, having heard these things, having more accurate knowledge of the way, so let's have a look at this, accurate knowledge of the way. So we have here, he knew about the Nazarenes and the faith they practiced called the way. Okay, so this now brings us to the end of Acts chapter 24. So I thank you all for watching. This is Rabbi Beaton saying thank you all for watching and Shalom Shalom. Baruch Shem Kivod Malkuto Leolam Va'ed. Benevolent be the name of his esteemed kingdom, forever and ever and ever. Amen.